AWS reInvent. I'm Cassidy Quinn with GeekWire Studios, here with Doug Merritt, the chairman, CEO, and president of Aviatrix. How is your reInvent going so far?
It's awesome. It starts with you have to have 3 titles. I'm not sure how that happened, but no, it's for so many of us, we took a hiatus during COVID, and it's my first time back at any trade show since 2019, and it is unbelievable. I never thought I'd say I'm excited to go to Vegas and go to a trade show. And as I was getting the plane, it's like, wow, I'm actually excited to go to Vegas and go to a trade show. And reInvent is like the mother of all trade shows right now. So the energy is off the charts here right now.
That's awesome. I know a lot of what you're doing here is talking to customers. You also, in your role, talk to a lot of enterprise cloud networking teams. What are you hearing from them right now?
Yeah, see what's happened over the past 5-6 years has been phenomenal. When I was with Splunk, we actually started the journey of Splunk to the cloud back in 2013, 2014. And back then, it was a thing. Like, people were thinking cloud was going to happen, but it was still a lot of planning, a lot of talk. What happened over the pandemic was, as we've all read about, massive acceleration. And where we are now in 2023, almost 2024, is very few people are complete on their journey to the cloud unless you were born 4 or 5 years ago and you started in the cloud. The number of enterprises that have 30 to 80% of their workloads in cloud now is amazing on the progress. And as most people have found, the power of cloud is off the charts, but it's complex. It's a whole new set of capabilities than what you were used to on an on-prem world. And so I think what I sense with customers is they're excited they went to cloud. They want to keep that journey going, but they are definitely now kind of stepping back and figuring out how do we make sure that we're getting everything we wanted out of this journey and that we actually leverage cloud the way that it was built to be leveraged so that all the promises we made to our board or to our investors or to whomever actually can be realized.
So what are the biggest problems they're coming and relying on Aviatrix for?
So you'd think networking was one of those invisible things with cloud, and the cloud vendors did a good job of providing some effective basic networking services. But technology is technology, and networking is where so much of the capability that people are looking for those applications kind of has to go through and winds up being a choke point or a liberation point for these organizations. And there's very few companies out there today that are just in one cloud. Again, if you're more than $500 million or $1 billion in size, which is a lot of companies around the world, you've done M&A, you've got 10, 20, 50, 80 years of IT legacy that you're wrestling through. And so you still have some on-prem workloads, you've got workloads in 2 or 3 different clouds, you had some attempts with Equinix or other awesome vendors out there to begin to have some semi-public cloud architectures. So what most companies are wrestling with across the board and then with networking is, we thought this was going to be a simplicity button, but because we're halfway through, and even if you're all the way there, there's a lot of complexity in these different cloud environments. And with networking in particular, there's a ton of complexity. Most of the vendors, AWS is a great example, have got 15 to 22 different networking services that they have to offer to provide the variety that these customers need. Every one of those services looks a little bit different than any other cloud, and you still need some good networking skills to actually have your applications run the way you want them to run and to be able to serve your customers and your internal customers the way you want to. So I'd say overall they're wrestling with complexity, automation, resiliency, high response time, a lot of the core messages that got them to the cloud in the first place.
So what do you see? Obviously a lot going on with cloud networking right now. Where do you see it going in the future? What's next?
The world, as we begin to play with generative AI and get a little bit more accomplished there, is going to see a lot of those promises become reality. The way that we provide consistency, visibility, resiliency, and simplicity across these clouds provides a whole level of focus for these organizations to really be dealing with features and functions for their core applications without having to worry as much about the network. And I think we'll see that acceleration continue. There's going to be more automatic adaptability of networking. I don't see consolidation. I see actually more complexity coming into play. So we need tools like Aviatrix and a lot of these trends that we're watching on the technology front, like generative AI, we need them to come up the curve. Because especially as we go into the large language model world, I think you're going to see a sprawl of dedicated compute centers to couple to the data centers that AWS and others are doing an amazing job of blinking the world with. So you're going to have more network connections, more variety to make sure that you can do whatever job you're trying to get done with your technology as effectively as you possibly can. So specialization is going to continue, which provides great opportunity for Aviatrix, because that complexity means you need a homogeneous layer to really try and abstract the teams from that complexity.
Yeah, great news for Aviatrix then.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully.
Thank you so much for telling us all about it, Doug. Have a great rest of your time in Vegas.
Thank you very much for having me on.
And thank you for watching GeekWire Studios.